And we're live. Sweet. What's going on, guys? So, big game tonight. The two best teams in the Eastern Conference, two of the absolute best teams in the NHL, Boston versus Tampa Bay, division rivals, 1-2 in the Atlantic. This should be a really, really good matchup. And yeah, we're ready for another great live stream. This should be a fun one. We're getting really close to playoff time here. Only a couple weeks left in the season. So it's crunch time now in the NHL. For the bubble teams, they are fighting for their lives. For teams like Boston and Tampa Bay, they are just trying to get everything together, get guys healthy, make sure that they're firing on all cylinders. But come playoff time, because 2 weeks from now, when they're lacing them up for game one of their first round playoff series, it's gonna be the real deal for teams like Boston and Tampa Bay, where one round isn't going to cut it for how good these teams are. They are looking to go deep into the playoffs. So this could very easily be a playoff matchup in the second round like it was last year. Boston basically not guaranteed, but almost guaranteed to be playing Toronto in the first round. Boston, I've been saying this for I think a couple months now. Boston should have their way with Toronto. Toronto has no defense, and they're not. There's a lot missing from that Toronto team. They have the offense, but not much else. And Tampa Bay is the clear-cut number one team in the league. They're blowing everyone else out of the water. So I would think Tampa Bay probably will at least get back to the conference final, but they play the games for a reason. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can see a world where Boston beats Tampa Bay in a 7-game series. A lot of things would have to go right for Boston to beat Tampa Bay in a 7-game series. However, I do think it would be a close series, and it would certainly be a lot of fun to watch. And tonight's game should be a good game as well. This is the third time that these teams have played this year. I believe they've split the first 2 games, 1 win each. And then they play tonight, and they play again at the very end of the season. They play one more time. But this should be quite the game here tonight. And hopefully it's a lot better than the last game I streamed, which I ended early because it was so bad, which was San Jose and Minnesota, maybe the most boring hockey game I've seen in a couple of years. This game should not be that. These are division rivals. These are teams that don't like each other. These are teams that could potentially be meeting in the playoffs for the second time in 2 seasons. There's a lot of reason to think that this is going to be a fun game tonight. Yeah, no, I've never not liked the Lightning. The Tampa Bay has always been one of my more teams that I've liked outside of being a Bruins fan. I've always been a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, and if Boston's not going to win the Stanley Cup, and I'd say of who I want to win the Cup this year, Boston's obviously number 1. I'd say Winnipeg is probably number 2, and Tampa would be coming in at number 3. But Tampa is a team that I like. There are a lot of teams that I like, but Boston is my team. But we're here. We should have about 5 more minutes until puck drop. Hey, Panther Pucks, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for being here and watching. And this should be a fun matchup as we're down to the final 2 weeks of the NHL season. That is pretty cool because we are getting really, really close to playoff time here. That's not very nice. I do not hope that Steven Stamkos gets his face broken. I like Steven Stamkos a lot, and I hope he has a good, productive playoff, as does Tampa Bay. I do not want him to break his face. What's going on, Rob? How's it going? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being in the chat and at every stream. Always night in and night out. Whenever I'm streaming, Rob's always here. So thank you for that. So before the game starts here, while we got a good number of people in the chat, how about the Columbus Blue Jackets? They go all in at the trade deadline. They get Matt Duchene. They get Ryan Dzingel. They get Adam McQuaid. They give up all of these prospects and draft picks for players, and they probably won't even make the playoffs with the way that it looks right now. They probably won't even make the playoffs. What an absolute shit show going on in Columbus right now. And I think that means that probably time to clean house as far as the Blue Jackets are concerned. Coach gone, GM gone, players gone. Like, I mean, if they don't make the playoffs after going all in at the trade deadline, that is just an absolute disaster. Hey, Goal Horns, life's good. How about you, man? How you doing? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And yes, Rob Gronkowski has retired, to the surprise of definitely not me. I said after the Patriots won the Super Bowl, I thought he was going to retire, and it turns out I was right. So I don't know if you guys noticed the thumbnail for this video. I usually don't do anything with thumbnails. I usually just like use a picture, like a just a screen grab from during the video or live streams. They have you take a thumbnail picture before you start it. But I actually made a thumbnail for this. I want to give a shout out to my friend Sal, who runs Behind the Arc Basketball YouTube channel. He does college basketball on YouTube. And basically the same way that he does his thumbnails is he has the team logos and stuff. But that's where I got that thumbnail idea from. And I have to say, I do like it. And I think I'm going to be using that for live streams from now on. So I'll have the team logos, the date of the game. And then once we get in the playoffs, I'll be like game 1 or game 3 or whatever, game of the series it is that I'm streaming. But, want to give Sal a shout out and Behind the Arc Basketball a shout out. I was actually on of 4 of his streams this past weekend during the NCAA tournament. So if any of you guys watch college basketball, I know I do during March Madness, not really outside of that, but during the tournament, I'm watching basketball a lot. So check his channel out. It should come right up if you just type in Behind the Arc Basketball. He's almost to 100 subscribers, so let's get him to 100. And I guested on his channel 3 games on Thursday for day 1 of the tournament and 1 game on Sunday. Oh, yeah, teams definitely have a better chance of beating the Patriots without Rob Gronkowski for sure. Do I like John Cooper? I mean, I don't dislike him. I think he's a pretty good coach. I don't watch the Lightning on a night in and night out basis, so I don't really know his personality that well or anything. I don't have a reason to dislike him, but I don't know a ton about him. But I know that he's done a heck of a job with the Lightning since becoming their coach, and I think he's a very good coach. Yeah, I kind of feel you on that, Panther. Columbus does feel like one of those teams that just no matter what, it's going to be shit for them. Like they can't do, anything right. They load up at the trade deadline, and now they're probably going to miss the playoffs. Even when they do make the playoffs, they're always a first-round exit. Doesn't matter if they play Pittsburgh or Washington or who they play, they're a first-round exit every time. And similar to the Panthers, it just seems like Columbus is one of those teams where it's just shit. It's shit for Columbus, and nothing can go right for them. Jordan Binnington what a fantastic story he's been. And the Jordan Binnington is really interesting to me because he played for the Providence Bruins last year on loan from St. Louis. They loaned him to Providence instead of him playing for St. Louis's AHL team. And so I got to see Jordan Binnington play a lot last year for the Providence Bruins. And he was a very, very good goaltender, but I did not expect this. I didn't think he would jump to the NHL level and play the way that he has. He's been outstanding for St. Louis. But still, I don't know if he wins the Calder because he's only really been up the second half of the season. He hasn't played the full year. But Pettersson in Vancouver, I think, has a really good shot at the Calder. But Binnington has been phenomenal, and his name should certainly be talked about. So we are underway here. Tampa Bay and Boston, we are underway from Tampa, Florida at Amalie Arena. Tuukka Rask goal for the Bruins and Andrei Vasilevsky in goal for Tampa. Two number one goaltenders going at it. And let's see how this game goes. This should be a real good one. Yeah, the Buffalo Bulls did have a good year in basketball. Buffalo had a good year, but they were knocked out in the second round. I actually had them winning and going to the Sweet 16 in my bracket, but that did not happen. So the Bruins just iced it there. Hey, Von Hook, what's going on? Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. My Final Four is Duke, North Carolina, Michigan, and I forget. I threw my bracket out after the first day, so I really don't remember. I know that my final is Duke versus North Carolina, with North Carolina winning. I know Michigan was the team that would play Duke in the Final Four. I forget who I had in the final from the Virginia's side of the bracket. I forget. Maybe I don't think it was Virginia though, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't care. My bracket's garbage anyway. It's hockey time. So Tampa's got the puck here coming out of their own zone, and they just dump it into Boston's end and are making a line change. Boston quickly gets it out, but cannot maintain control. And now they're just kind of going back and forth in the neutral zone here. Yeah, I haven't done a Remember Him video. Maybe I'll do another one this week. I didn't do really any videos last week. I was busy. I was frustrated with some things going wrong on my computer, and I was just like, I need to take a little bit of time off here. So I didn't really do much last week. Got things back going this week, and so far so good. And certainly looking to live stream, and then obviously have things going full bore for the playoffs. But Remember Him videos are only going to be players that I remember playing. So Rick Middleton would be cool, but I never saw Rick Middleton play in the NHL. See, Sergei Gonchar, that is somebody that I would do. Very, very good player. He's borderline almost too good to do for Remember Him, because Remember Him is supposed to be like those middle of the road players that people kind of forget, but then you hear the name and you're like, oh yeah. Gonchar was really freaking good. So I'll look at his stats and stuff, but I feel like Sergei Gonchar is a guy that everybody should know. I certainly remember him. He was a fantastic offensive defenseman. So Boston gets the puck in the neutral zone here, but cannot get into the zone, and now Tampa's in transition coming back the other way. Connor Clifton just got leveled behind the net by Adam Ernie. Connor Clifton is up from Providence. He is one of my favorite players on the Providence Bruins. He's small, but he's physical. He's willing to hit. He's got good offensive skills, can skate really well. And he's got a little bit of an edge to him. I'm a big Connor Clifton fan, so it's good to see him up in Boston. Hey, Nolan, what's going on? Oh, yeah, Jeff Halpern. That's definitely someone that would be perfect for Remember Him, as would Stephen Weiss, as would Jonathan Chichu. Danny Heatley was too good. Danny Heatley, I think, he was a 50-goal scorer in 07. Danny Heatley, 50 in 07. He's borderline too good for remember him. I think everybody remembers Danny Heatley. Now here comes Boston into the zone. Onto Marchand with a break. And I don't know if that went wide or if Vasilevsky had a piece of that, but that was a great chance for the Bruins, but Marchand couldn't bury it. Now Tampa's in the offensive zone here. Controlling the puck with their third line, but Krejci takes it away, and out come the Bruins. Jiri Hudler, there's another interesting guy remember him. Remember him, especially with the Red Wings. Milan Jurchina. I don't know who that is. Sugimoto? I have no idea who that is. But, you guys are naming a lot of good guys to do, and it's kind of an endless list of players I could possibly do for NHL Remember Him. So doing only one a week is going to take a while to get through. Now Vasilevsky plays the puck up, but it goes back to Boston. So Boston now controlling in the neutral zone. Charlie Coyle, but can't really gain possession in the offensive zone. And now so honestly, not much has been going on early. It's kind of been a neutral zone game so far, with the teams just flip-flopping possessions and not a lot of sustained pressure for anybody, not a lot of offensive chances. We're a good amount into the game already, not a lot of whistles. Oh, there's a hit. Clifton absolutely just leveled Andre Palat. That is why I absolutely love Connor Clifton, because he is not a big guy, but he is not afraid to throw a big check like that. He absolutely leveled Andre Palat there. What a great open ice hit. Stepped right up on him. And Stamkos scores to make it 1-0 Lightning. That is Steven Stamkos' 40th goal of the season. So big year for Stamkos, getting to 40 goals. I believe that should put him at the 90-point mark too, because I believe he has 50 assists on the year as well. So Stamkos hits 90 points on the year, and they are up. I forget. I just completely lost my train of thought. Hang on. You guys are still putting names on here. Anton Volchenkov. There's another one. Well, Tampa's got some life now, and they've got the pressure on because they are already back into the Boston zone with puck possession, and the Bruins need to make sure that this game doesn't get away from them early. Now the puck gets deflected out. So Steven Stamkos with his 40th goal of the year, 90th point on the season, gets Tampa Bay up 1-0 early. No, I'm not going to give Slava Voinov. Not going to give him the time of day. We all know what happened there. Oh, he was a Kings defenseman, and then all of a sudden he was not.
Spring is coming. Time to make plans to get outside in a new Toyota. Take advantage of incredible deals on many of our most popular models, like the all-new.
Do I listen to Blue Oyster Cult? I mean, I know their big songs, and I really like their songs like Burning for You and Don't Fear the Reaper. But those are about the only songs by them that I know. Yeah, there is no. I don't care what team you root for, who you like and don't like in the NHL. There is no denying that the Tampa Bay Lightning are the best team in the NHL. They're blowing everyone away, points-wise and with wins, and they are the best team. However, the best team in the NHL does not always win the Stanley Cup. And actually, hockey more than anything, when you get to the playoffs, it's kind of anything can happen. We know that President's Trophy winners rarely actually win the cup. And there's a reason for that. It's because it doesn't matter in the NHL playoffs if you're the best regular season team, how many wins you have, how good you are. What matters is how you play in that particular 7-game series in the playoffs. And you got to take it one series at a time, one shift at a time, and really focus all 2 months of the playoffs long, and that's not easy to do. And yeah, Capitals. How many years were the Capitals like everyone was like Washington, best team. They have Ovechkin, best goal scorer. They finished first in the Eastern Conference. And then Washington choked in the playoffs every year until, well, we know what happened last year. Boston's going to get a power play here. They just had a nice break into the zone. And I think it was Pastrnak got slashed or hooked on his way to the net. So Boston's going on the power play here. Kucherov's the one going to the penalty box, and he does not agree with the call. He is certainly trying to explain his side of the case to the official there, but let's see if they're showing the replay. We'll see if I can get a better look at it. That's not a hook. That wasn't the call. Oh, that is I'm a Bruins fan, and that is a ticky-tack garbage call. That call had no place being made. He barely touched him. It had no effect on the play. That was just an atrocious penalty call by whoever that referee was. But most of the good refs are retired from the NHL now, so we're left with a lot of crap. And the officiating the last couple of years has been noticeably worse than it was in years past. But anyway, Boston's on the power play now. They've got possession in the offensive zone. And they maintain possession, although Tampa did almost have a chance to clear it there. They could not get it out. Bergeron's shot gets blocked. And now the puck's deflected out of play. Yeah, I've kind of yes, Wes McCauley is a tremendous referee, but there are very few of those referees like Wes McCauley left. A lot of these new guys that they have are just not very good. But Wes McCauley is one of the last of that old guard that are still refereeing. And he's been around for a long time now, and he is a very good official. There aren't that many of them left. DeBrusk couldn't get a good shot off in front. And now Marchand scores. Okay, it took a while for the ref to signal that, but we have a 1-1 tie game here. I'm not exactly even sure. The puck was in the crease, and then I think Pastrnak tossed it out to Marchand, and Marchand buried it, but everyone else was kind of still acting like it was in the crease. I don't think Vasilevsky really had any idea where it was. He was kind of flopped out on the ground. Oh, he saw it, but he was already down. He couldn't really do anything. Yeah, with Pastrnak, who just tossed it out to Marchand, and Marchand just roofs it. So, 33rd goal of the year for Brad Marchand. Another tremendous season for him. He's over 90 points as well. He's having a phenomenal year for Boston. So we've got we've got a tie game here in Tampa Bay with 11 and a half minutes left. And it's 1-1 now. So Boston with the answering goal. Granted, it was on a power play that they should not have had. But power play goal. Now they're correcting the time on the clock. Okay, so now we're down to 11 and a half minutes left, and we have a brand new hockey game. But Boston just iced it, and that's going to be a whistle. Okay, I'm going to try and get caught up in the chat here a little bit. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Do I watch NASCAR? Yes, I do watch NASCAR. I'm pretty. I don't watch every race or anything like that, but I follow who wins week in and week out, and the races I have time to watch, I do. And at least for his Northeast standards, I'm a pretty big NASCAR fan. I'm certainly not the same level of NASCAR fan as people in like North Carolina, South Carolina, and down there are. But as far as being from Massachusetts, I am a pretty big NASCAR fan. All right, Blue Oyster Cult, Take Me Away. That is noted. I remember that from the last stream. I never actually did listen to it. I will actually listen to it this time. Can promise you that. Yep, Stamkos has been phenomenal throughout his career, and another phenomenal season this year. Then we got to talk about refs. Yeah, Tim Peel. Tim Peel's an older ref, but not a very good one. Although, honestly, I used to hate Tim Peel, but compared to a lot of the new guys, he's actually not that bad, but he's still not a great ref. Wes McCauley, I think, is the best ref in the NHL. They're showing that Clifton hit again. That was a great hit by Clifton, blowing up Andre Palat. Rip Gronk. He is retired now. How tall am I? I am 5'8", so not very tall. I'm I guess pretty normal. I guess pretty like average size, but I definitely not the tallest guy. Only 5'8". My favorite NASCAR driver is, that's a tough one because there's a lot of drivers that I like. There's a few that I really don't like. I would say my favorite is probably Chase Elliott. I'm a big Chase Elliott fan. Now Marchand and Eric Chernak are yapping. That's not something that I don't think Marchand wants to get involved in physically, because Eric Chernak is a very tough kid. I saw that kid play in Syracuse when he was in the AHL before getting called up. And obviously he's been a physical presence for the Lightning since he's been called up. He's got a few fights this year, and he's a big hitter. That kid is a tough kid, and I don't think Brad Marchand wants to be physically involved with him. Oh, we need an F in the chat for Gronk. We'll give him the F. There we go. Big oof, bro, for Rob Gronkowski. I mean, it's good for him. He goes out a champion, Super Bowl winner, and phenomenal career. And he's just, he's had enough. And I absolutely don't blame him at all for wanting to retire. I thought he was going to retire. If I was him, I would have retired, and that's what happened. That does kind of put the Patriots in a tough spot, though. So Tampa dumps the puck in here and gains possession in the offensive zone, but the Bruins take it back and exit the zone 2-on-2 back up the other way. And Pasternak gets checked pretty good there by the defense and can't really get any good chance off that. Odd deflection there, wide of the net, but made things a little bit interesting. Now Tampa Bay, and the puck deflects into the Tampa Bay bench. All right, so my favorite March Madness Cinderella team. That is definitely a tough question for me, because I tend to not remember them. Like, I know when it's happening, but then like by a year later, I've forgotten about it. So, and I'm not a huge college basketball fan either. Like, I only watch the NCAA tournament, and even that, I watch like the first few days, and then usually I'm kind of done with basketball, and after that, it really doesn't matter to me. So, that's a really tough question to me. I do remember the fantastic Florida Gulf Coast teams, though, that like everything was an alley-oop, everything was in the air above the rim. They were just dunking all over everyone, Dunk City. It's those teams were so much fun to watch. So I would definitely say that I would definitely say that they are up there as far as favorite Cinderella teams, just because of how freaking fun to watch they were. How would I feel if the Nashville Predators played in Bristol Motor Speedway for a Winter Classic? That would be sick. I know they've done football at Bristol Motor Speedway, but I mean that Bristol, if you don't, a lot of you probably don't watch NASCAR, so you don't know Bristol, but Bristol is a very small track. It's only a half mile, and it's like a coliseum around it. It is awesome, and it's great, for other sports as well. I know they've played football games there because, it's so small and it's like enclosed all the way around. There's just it's literally a coliseum type building. So I think Nashville playing a Winter Classic there would be absolutely sick and be really, really cool. And you can fit like 100,000 people in there. So, you can get a lot of people in the stands for that. It's a lot of fun. Oh, sweet. Von Hook watches NASCAR too. That's cool because I don't know, I don't know many people that actually watch NASCAR. Me and my friend Sal are, I think definitely the only ones out of my friend group that watch it. And I just don't, personally being from the Northeast, I don't know that many people that follow racing. So it's always cool to meet someone else that does. So we're back underway here. Next commercial break, I'll go through other scores around the league. I just pulled that up, but we're already back to action here. Good save there by Rask on Kucherov, but Tampa's still got the puck in the offensive zone and very, very dangerous right now. But now the Bruins exit, and now they come 3-on-2 back the other way, and DeBrusk really can't do anything with that. So we're playing some back and forth hockey here now as Tampa Bay comes back into the offensive zone, but they get sloppy with the puck and turn it over. Oh, yeah, NASCAR Thunder 2003 is such a great game. I have that right over in front of my TV, but for PlayStation 2, for PS2, NASCAR Thunder 2003, that it was a very, very fun game. Still, that's a game that you can go back and play now, and it holds up. I mean, the graphics aren't as great as new games, but it's still really fun to play. So here we go. About 9 minutes remaining in the first period. The first 6-7 minutes of this period flew by. I mean, absolutely flew by. But the play's gotten chopped up a little bit more now, and the game slowed down a bit. But both teams have a goal. Boston's on the power play. Tampa's 5-on-5. Tampa scored first. Boston answered on the power play. And we've got a tie game here. And, I mean, I don't think anyone went into this game expecting a blowout. I mean, we have two of the best teams in the league. You'd think that they'd play a pretty close, tight game. And that's what we've got so far. So the Bruins get it out, but not with possession. Tampa Bay has to retreat and kind of regroup in their own zone here. No, I do not watch tennis. That's one. It's, I've never been able to gotten into watching tennis. Golf I've gotten into, and I do watch golf fairly often, but I do not watch tennis. So here's Tampa Bay now with their fourth line. Puck bouncing around the crease there. The fourth line's out there and getting good forechecking pressure for the Lightning. Boston clears, but immediately dumped back in by Tampa Bay. Oh, there's been some good hits in this game. That was a good one there by Paquette on, I think it was Coyle. Not sure, though. Might have been Wagner. Here comes Kucherov now, and I mean, we all know how dangerous he is. Oh, Chernak with an absolute bomb there. Great save by Tuukka. My favorite golfer is Ricky Fowler. I love Ricky. He's great. But, I mean, I like a lot of them. There aren't many golfers that I don't like. But if I had to pick a favorite, I'd say Ricky Fowler is probably my favorite right now. Pastrnak trying to break through. Oh, Marchand just had an open net on a sick pass from Bergeron, but he couldn't get his stick on it. Now the tip goes over the goal. Boston's first line is out, and they are getting some great chances in the Tampa Bay end here. Tampa's got a tired group out there as well, because this is the group that was just down, at least the defense pair that was out there when they were down in the offensive zone, and they've been out there for a while, and now they just iced it. So that Chernak pairing, I think it's McDonough and Chernak playing together. They're stuck out there, and they just iced it, so they can't get off. Yep, it's McDonough and Chernak. And Boston's made the line change. Great shift there for the Bergeron, Marchand, Pastrnak line. Exactly what the Bruins needed after Tampa just spent a good amount of time down in the offensive zone. Now I assume the Krejci line would be the one out now, and that is the case. But a quick save by Vasilevsky, and Tampa will get the line change here. It's the Krejci, DeBrusk, and Carson Kuhlman on that line tonight. Called up from Providence with the injury to Sean Corrali. That line, I assume, will probably stay out for an offensive zone chance. I haven't played like Mortal Kombat. The only game with Mortal Kombat characters I've played is Injustice, but that's like mostly DC characters, but then also a few Mortal Kombat guys mixed in there. But it's mainly a DC game. But I haven't played like Mortal Kombat, any of the, like original Mortal Kombat games. No. Ben Smith, I don't think was in the NHL long enough. And if it's the Ben Smith that I'm thinking of, the one that was in, I think, Chicago for a little bit. I don't remember where else he played. I don't think he was in the league for very long. So I'm just going to go through some scores here from around the league. Obviously, Boston and Tampa Bay is at 1-1 with 5 minutes left, almost 6 minutes left in the first. Maple Leafs are up on the Panthers 4-2, start of the second period. Only a couple minutes into the period there. Sabres and Devils are tied 1-1, also early in the second period. Penguins and Rangers are tied 2-2 early in the second period. These were all the 7 o'clock starts. Vegas and St. Louis, they are just about to start. And Stars and Jets just started. And then later tonight, we have Predators and Wild. That should be a really good game. That's starting anytime. Kings and Flames at 9, and Red Wings Sharks at 10:30. So pretty good night around the NHL. Good amount of stuff going on. And, no super surprising scores. Toronto leading over Florida as they should. I guess Penguins and Rangers tied right now. That should we'll see if the Rangers can pick up a win there. That would kind of be a lousy loss for Pittsburgh if they were to lose to the Rangers. But that game, still plenty of time left and it's tied. Any free agent predictions? No, I haven't been thinking about the offseason at all, man. Not at all. Sorry about that, but I can't tell you anything about free agents. We got to get through the playoffs first. My mind is solely on NHL playoffs first. Once we get through the playoffs, then I start to look to the offseason stuff. We get to the draft, free agency, and all that fun stuff. Lots of changes, but for right now, I have no thoughts on free agency. I don't know who's going where or what's going to happen. Matt Bradley, yeah, I could do an NHL. Remember him for Matt Bradley because he was a pretty tough guy, but I don't think he fought enough to ever be in the Enforcer Hall of Fame. He wasn't an enforcer. He was just a bottom six forward who was willing to fight from time to time. No, it's not a stupid question at all. And I'm sorry I don't have more for you. I just haven't been thinking about free agency yet at all. My focus has been all on the playoffs, and I will have playoff predictions coming very soon. The season ends in a couple of weeks, and then it's time to do my playoff predictions and my NHL bracket challenge, which I don't remember if I did one on this channel last year. I know I was in some groups. I don't know if I created a group, but I certainly, with this many subscribers on the channel now, I will definitely be doing an NHL bracket challenge group on NHL.com. So if any of you are interested in that, I mean, obviously we'll have to wait until it opens and we get to the playoffs first, but I'll have more information on that. It will probably just be like an open group that you can join, or maybe I'll have, we got a goal. What an absolute Stamkos again with an absolute blast. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Stamkos scores again. Number 41 on the year. This is a Steven Stamkos goal right here. Absolute bomb from the top of the circle. One-timer right from the top of the circle. Top shelf. Nothing the goalie can do about it. That's in a very similar to how Ovechkin scores a lot of his goals, but Stamkos is also very good at it. Cirelli was right in front of the net. Rask couldn't even see it, I don't think. So nothing he could do there. Absolute bomb. What a great shot from Steven Stamkos. What are the current matchups if the playoffs started today? Can you wait? I don't know them off the top of my head, so I will pull up the standings and figure them out based on where everyone is in the standings. Can you wait until intermission? If are you still going to be here watching this when we get to intermission? There's about 4 minutes left in the period. I will do that during intermission. If you want me to pull up the standings, I'll tell you what the matchups would be right now. I know some of them, but not all of them, and I don't want to tell you wrong information. I got a text here. No, not your bad at all. I'm glad you're asking questions. I want to answer them. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research for that one, so I want to do it at intermission when the game isn't going on, because I'm going to try and keep up with what's going on here as Boston gets into the offensive zone. Good hit there by Pastrnak on Chernak. You don't see Pastrnak throwing hits very often, but that was a good one. And now Tampa Bay dumps it in, but Boston, someone, who was that just fell down? One of the Bruins just fell down. Now the Lightning have it in their own end.
When Tampa Bay has the puck on the perimeter. The Lightning so dangerous in one-touch passing combinations. Burning off glass. Camp for the hard stop. Moore gets decked.
Ernie just leveled John Moore from behind.
This is what we saw last year, Jeff. You know, the high concentration games, February, March, the Bruins started to lose defensemen going into the playoffs.
This is very much like last year. The Bruins just getting wrecked on defense. Like, their defensemen always get injured at the end of the year. Well, I mean, it definitely was a hit from behind, but Moore turned at the last second. I can't blame Adam Ernie for anything with that. Moore turned at the absolute last second, and it was dumb for him to turn. That's one of the biggest things that I hate now is how so many of these players turn their backs to oncoming checks purposely. They see someone coming and their first instinct is turn their back. And then they get mad when they get leveled from behind. Well, no, don't turn your back when you see someone coming to hit you. Moore there just turns right around, and Ernie doesn't have time to pull up there. He did nothing wrong in my mind with that. It was a hit. I mean, he did get hit from behind, but he turned at the last second, which is his fault. Now we got another penalty. Now we got a penalty on Tampa Bay for hooking again. JT Miller to the box. So Boston's going to the power play here with just over 2 minutes left in the period. So they have a chance to tie it back up on the power play.
Bergeron wins the face-off against Stamkos. Pasternak long for Marchand.
Oh, good cross pass there, but great penalty killing there from Tampa Bay. Get a stick in the lane because Pasternak would have had an easy one-timer chance. I think it was Chernak got his stick right in the way, and it deflected out of play there. So we'll see. Boston's got to win another face-off here. Here comes McAvoy trying to carry into the zone. He does. Possession play to the point on the other side. And Tampa. DeBrusk with a good tip in front. Just couldn't get it on goal there. Tampa's being aggressive with the penalty kill, which. And now we've got another penalty on Tampa Bay, this time for tripping. So we're going to have a 5-on-3 for over a minute here. This is a huge opportunity for the Bruins as Alex Killorn, I believe it is, goes to the box. Yep, it's Killorn going to the box for tripping. So now Boston has a 5-on-3 for over a minute here. Killorn gets his stick in the skates of he takes Bergeron out from behind with his skate. That was a really dumb play by Killorn. This is a must-score 5-on-3 here for Boston. You can't get chances like this against Tampa Bay and not capitalize on them. Boston's already passing too much. They're very stationary, and Tampa clears it down. Ooh, that's tough. My favorite NBCSN broadcasting crew. That's a tough one. Brian Boucher is absolutely one of my favorites, so Brian Boucher would have to be a part of it. I love Doc's play-by-play, so Doc would be the play-by-play guy. Brian Boucher would probably be. You know what? I would only have 2. I don't think you need 3 people on a broadcasting team. So I would have Doc doing play-by-play, and I would have Brian Boucher inside the glass doing all the interviews and typical inside the glass stuff, also doing the analyst job, and just have Doc and Brian Boucher. Those two are phenomenal together. They're both phenomenal at what they do.
Back to Q for 5-on-4 now. Tamper's hot pass skips to the corner. Krejci in the final 10 seconds.
So first power play is done. Second power play is down to the final 30 seconds. The period is done. We're at the end of the first period. It's 2-1 to Tampa Bay. End of the first. That is the end of the first period. The worst broadcasting crew in all of sports. Ooh, that's a tough one. There are a lot of bad ones. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd have to think long and hard about that. I mean, I would say anything with Chris Collinsworth, but I like Al Michaels. And then, so I would say if I can make my own crew, it would be Joe Buck doing play-by-play and Chris Collinsworth being the color analyst. That would be the worst broadcasting crew in the history of sports, and certainly my least favorite. Okay, playoff matchups. THG, are you still in here watching in the chat? Because I'm going to read off the playoff matchups for you now. If you're still here. If any, the rest of you want to know, this is what the playoffs would be if the season ended right now. So not counting tonight's games, because obviously tonight's games are not over yet and we don't know who's going to win. So as of last night, it would be in the Eastern Conference, we would have Boston versus Toronto as the 2-3 matchup in the Atlantic, the New York Islanders versus Pittsburgh as the 2-3 matchup in the Metro, and Tampa Bay would play Montreal, and Washington would play Carolina if the season ended, right now. In the Western Conference, Nashville and St. Louis would be the 2-3 matchup in the Central Division. San Jose and Vegas would be the matchup in the Pacific Division. Calgary would play Colorado, and Winnipeg would play Dallas. I like those matchups a lot. The Western Conference is going to be a lot of fun when the playoffs come around. And I'm going to tell you right now, or some things, playoff matchups that likely are to stay this way, current matchups that likely stay the same, like almost guaranteed. Boston versus Toronto. Nobody's catching Tampa, obviously. And nobody, Montreal is not going to catch Toronto. So that 2-3 matchup is going to stay the same with Boston versus Toronto. Other than that, the rest of the East, there is room for movement in the rest of the East as far as teams moving up and down. In the Western Conference, Nashville is very, very likely to play St. Louis because Nashville is not going to catch Winnipeg, I don't think. And I don't think Dallas or Colorado has much of a chance to catch St. Louis to take that third spot. So Nashville-St. Louis is very, very likely to happen. Also, San Jose versus Vegas is very, very likely to happen. Again, nobody's catching Vegas, and I don't think San Jose is going to catch Calgary at this point. So those are, pretty much set, those particular series. Everything else, it's still up in the air as far as seeding, and it's still up in the air at the wild card positions as to who makes the playoffs and who does not in both conferences. The Bruins arena is the TD Garden, yes. No, I do not like Pierre Maguire at all. I think he's an absolute dumbass and a shit stain. Donald Trump Jr., what's going on? Man, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. That's Derek, Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Will Arizona make the playoffs? I don't think so. Arizona has 79 points through. Well, Arizona is tied with Minnesota as far as points go right now. I think Colorado is the team that gets in personally, but we'll have to wait and see. Arizona is certainly still right there in the thick of it, and have a chance. But I don't think Arizona gets in. Colorado is my pick to get in. All right, we got some definite non-Steven Stamkos fans here. Almost at 700. Yes, Derek, almost at 700. Hopefully getting to 700 subs soon and hopefully getting to 1,000 soon. That would be nice.
Mother Nature. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com. Nothing protects like WeatherTech. Hi, Kylie. Hi, Sammy.
Yeah, I don't know. Toronto is not going to beat Boston in the first round. The more I watch Toronto, the worse I think they are. Every time I watch them, I think they're worse. That team has some great offensive talent, and that's it. They have no defense. They have no grit, no toughness. Their goaltending is shaky. I don't trust Frederik Andersen in big games, not at all, especially not in a road arena. I think Toronto's toast come playoff time. They're not built for the playoffs. They have zero toughness. They're going to get beat up and beaten. Doesn't Don Cherry call everybody a jerk now? I'm pretty sure he just calls everybody a jerk. I know he called the Carolina Hurricanes a bunch of jerks. I haven't heard John Forsland all that much. I don't hate him, but he doesn't stand out as anything special for me. Yeah, I don't have any strong feelings about John Forsland. I don't listen to him all that often. NBC doesn't have him on all that often. I think Kenny Albert does a phenomenal job as well. He's one of my favorite announcers. I think Kenny Albert's very good. I was gonna say, while we're at intermission, to please hit, if you're enjoying this stream, please hit that like button and give it a thumbs up. That really helps out a lot with the channel. And also, if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. As long as you're a fan of hockey, there are videos here for you. I do streams like this fairly often, especially during the playoffs, and I do recorded content as well throughout the week. So there's plenty of hockey content coming your way on this channel. So if you like the NHL, if you like hockey, give this a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, please. Really, really appreciate it. Almost to 700 subscribers, and marching on the road to 1,000. Really, really hope to get to 1,000 soon. But thank you guys so much for all your support, and we're here at intermission. Can check in on some scores again and see if anything changed. We got a good number of games going on tonight and a few very important games going on tonight, particularly Nashville and Minnesota. So Toronto is now beating Florida 5-2. They're going to run away with that game. Pittsburgh has taken a 4-2 lead on the Rangers, so the Rangers are done there. Vegas and St. Louis is still 0-0. Nashville's up 1-0 on the Wild. Stars and Jets are still scoreless. That's a potential first-round playoff matchup preview, Stars and Jets. That should be a fun playoff series if they do happen to meet. And then those two games start later. So the only real noticeable change is Pittsburgh taking the 4-2 lead on the Rangers and the Predators going up 1-0 on the Wild. Minnesota's playoff chances are slipping away with every game that goes by and with every loss that keeps coming. Minnesota's on slim playoff hopes now anyway. And as if they keep losing games, then that's going to go to 0 real quick, especially with Colorado 2 points ahead of them now. Who I don't know, Paul Romank. I don't know who that is. Romank. I don't know. Oh yeah, last postseason was the first year of this channel and the first playoffs with this channel, and I didn't know how it was going to go. But yeah, the streams during the playoffs get pretty wild sometimes. Can get big time numbers in here and a lot going on in the chat and fans of both teams going at it, and it is very interesting and it's a lot of fun. So for sure, definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely check out the streams during the playoffs because they are big time. Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate that. I hope this channel keeps growing as well, but I certainly appreciate your support. Yeah, Rob was in here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but Rob was here earlier. He's here every stream, Derek. Every stream, he's here, which is awesome, and he's a big supporter of the channel. But yeah, there were some times where there was some interesting stuff going on with Rob in the chat. I don't know if he's still here or not, but he was here earlier. I can tell you who my least favorite hockey commentator is, and that's Jack Edwards. Yeah, Jack is absolutely horrible, and the fact that I have to listen to him game in and game out because I'm a Bruins fan, oh my God, believe me, when the Bruins games get put on NBC, I am so happy I don't have to listen to Jack on those games because he is unbelievably annoying.
Need a job, need a great job,
Oh, he is the Boston Bruins play-by-play guy for Nesson, and he is the most annoying garbage announcer you could ever possibly listen to. Just if you look up any Boston Bruins highlights or fight highlights or anything on YouTube, it's a lot of times it's the Nesson feed, and just listen to it. It is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, Derek, you were the 45th subscriber. That was way back in the day now. Yep, it was the first round, Lightning versus Devils. And I was doing a lot of Bruins versus Maple Leafs games that round too, but it was a Lightning versus Devils game because that's when I knew you were a Lightning fan. Yeah, no, you've been a long time supporter of this channel and one of the early subscribers for sure, man. Hey, Aaron, what's going on? Andrew Ferentz, absolutely remember him, Stanley Cup champion with the 2011 Bruins. Oh, there you go, Fortnite. You're a Minnesota fan and at the game. That is cool. Aaron, if you're new to the channel, Aaron is a Penguins fan, and the Penguins, last I checked, were up 4-2 on the Rangers. So things seem to be going good for Pittsburgh tonight.
There's something right in front of you that you're not seeing. But it's the first first thing you'll feel. Marvin windows and doors.
If the Islanders make it, will I stream the Islander playoff games? Definitely not every one. I don't stream every game of any series, but there's definitely a good chance that at least one game I'll get a stream in. There's a real good chance that I'll stream at least one Islander playoff game. And the Islanders will be making the playoffs. It's not if they make it. They're making the playoffs. They're right behind Washington for first place. They're absolutely in a playoff spot at this point. It's just a matter of who do they play in the first round. Do they play Pittsburgh? Do they play Washington? Do they play Carolina? Yeah, it will depend on the series. It will depend on how the other series go. Because, I mean, obviously, Boston-Toronto games are a big draw. And with them, almost guaranteed, virtually guaranteed to be meeting in the first round now. Obviously, I'm going to do at least a couple of those games. And I don't stream every single night either. Because I get pretty, streaming is pretty tiring. And I don't stream every single night. But definitely going to be streaming some Boston-Toronto games. Definitely want to be streaming some Nashville-St. Louis games. But again, with the first round, you have so many series going on at one time that I don't know how the TV schedule is going to work out. I don't know which games are going to be going on at the same time. Whatever, I'm going to be watching this series, then the other series that's going on at that time, I'm not going to be able to see. I'm going to try and watch as many different things as I can. And I'll definitely try and stream as many different playoff series as I can. Hey, Dat Boy, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, Jack Edwards is atrocious, Panther. Oh, Dave Anderchuk, what a legend there, Derek. What a legend. All right, so we are back here for the start of the second period. Teams are on the ice. We're getting ready for puck drop. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay. Start of the second. Just quickly want to say that if you're enjoying this stream, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that like button. That really, really helps out the channel. And also, if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. As long as you're a fan of hockey and a fan of the NHL, there are videos here for you. I do live streams. I do recorded content on topics from across the NHL. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we're getting ready here for second period action. Do I watch Jeffy? No, I don't. I don't even know what that is. Yes, I did know that, Jack. I did. Because Matt Hendricks, I remember watching him playing in Providence in the AHL. And yes, they did get Johnny Boychuk way back then. And Johnny Boychuk actually turned out to be a very important defenseman for the Boston Bruins. Very good player, fan favorite. One of my favorite Bruins when he was here. And Matt Hendricks has put together a pretty darn good NHL career himself as a fourth liner tough guy. And he's played on a number of different teams, but he's put a pretty long and very good NHL career together. And Matt Hendricks still has a job in the league with Winnipeg now. Started the year in Minnesota and then got traded to Winnipeg at the deadline. And now Boston just iced the puck here. So, no, they didn't. I don't know why that wasn't icing, but for some reason it wasn't. But, yes, I did remember that, and that is definitely a piece of kind of forgotten Bruins history there. But Boychuk was a heck of a defenseman and still is for the Islanders. I don't know, Goal Horns, McJugger Nuggets. I don't even know what that is. Or Angry Grandpa. I guess Angry Grandpa, although I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't a tripping call on the Bruins. I'm not sure why it wasn't, but for whatever reason, the ref kept his arm down. Nonetheless, Tampa's got possession here in the offensive zone. And kind of working Boston in their own end right now.
Carlo takes the pass. Reverses to Chara. He tosses it out to the red line. Cool.
Boston dumps it in deep and goes for the line change. Marty McSorley, yes, he is a legendary enforcer. Certainly already has his spot in my Enforcer Hall of Fame. He was one of the early fighters that I put in my Enforcer Hall of Fame. But Marty McSorley, one of Wayne Gretzky's bodyguards. Great career as a fighter. I have actually never seen a single PewDiePie video on YouTube. I don't know what PewDiePie does. I've never watched it. Don't really care to. Don't know anything about him other than he has like millions of subscribers. And I don't know. That's all I know about PewDiePie, and I really don't care to know more. I'm not into the whole YouTuber thing like that, like Jake Paul or Logan Paul or PewDiePie or T-Series or whatever other crap is out there. I don't pay any attention to it. Eric Bolton, Enforcer Hall of Fame. He's one of the more modern enforcers I definitely have to think about. Do I listen to Breaking Benjamin? Yes, I do listen to Breaking Benjamin. Actually, I saw Breaking Benjamin live last summer. Phenomenal concert. They played with Bad Wolves, Nothing More, and Five Finger Death Punch. And Breaking Benjamin was fantastic. And that's going to be a hand pass, I believe, on the Bruins. So the puck's going to come out to the neutral zone. But yes, I do like Breaking Benjamin. Hey, Midwest Sports, what's going on? Thank you so much for stopping in. Really appreciate it. I have not watched Bohemian Rhapsody yet. Just kind of missed the boat. I wanted to see it when it first came out, but then I never saw it. And then at that point, it was like, okay, I guess I just haven't seen it, and probably not going. Eventually, I will, but maybe not anytime soon. Do I like Linkin Park? Yes, yes, I like Linkin Park. I love old Linkin Park. Their first two albums are phenomenal. After that, they kind of were okay. But old Linkin Park is my absolute favorite. Love them. Ray Emery or Ron Hextall? Ron Hextall was definitely in a league above Ray Emery as far as aggression goes and just nastiness as a goalie. Emery was a tough guy and a very aggressive guy, but Ron Hextall was a league above that. That guy was nuts when he was a player. Ron Hextall and Billy Smith, I think, kind of are in a league of their own as far as violence from the goaltender position. Nice save there by Tuukka Rask on a shot from the point. Matt Karkner, he's another modern type fighter. I don't know if he had enough fights in the NHL to be an Enforcer Hall of Fame guy, but it's definitely somebody worth looking into. I'll have to do some research on. Do I like Green Day? I never really got... Marchand, great save there by Vasilevsky. I never really got that big into Green Day. Like, they're okay. If they come on the radio, I don't change the channel or anything. But they're not a band that I really go out of my way to listen to. Hey, Fire Strike, what's going on? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. The Rangers are not having a good time against the Penguins tonight, last I checked. Let me go check that here. Boston with some good chances here in the offensive zone, but unable to score anything. And yeah, it's still 4-2 Pittsburgh over the Rangers. Oh, Fire Strike, you have a broken toe? That sucks. At least it's in your little toe that really does nothing and isn't all that important. So at least you can still function. It's not like you broke your ankle or something. But still, that's not good. All right, see you, Derek. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Good luck with that homework. Homework sucks, but you got to do it. So good luck with that, and hope to see you soon. Most hated player in the NHL right now. And we got a penalty call, I believe, on the Bruins here. Yep, holding on Boston. So Tampa Bay's going to the power play. I don't know who my most hated player is right now. That's tough. I know Sean Avery was my answer for a long time, but he's gone. Alex Burrows is retired now. He's out of the league. So who's like my most hated player? Not Crosby right now. I don't know. That's a really tough one. Another one I'd have to definitely think about. No, see, I don't hate Tom Wilson. I mean, I love Marchand because he's on my team. If Brad Marchand was not on the Bruins, he would absolutely be my choice. But he's on the Bruins, so I love the guy. Players that I hate right now that's not Sidney Crosby. Who's like a total diving, whining, garbage, dirtbag. I don't know. The league have taken so many of those kind of players out of the league. They've like gone out of their way to not have players like that, not have villains, not have people that the fans hate. I don't know who. I'm trying to think of teams I don't like and then who I don't like on those teams. But I fully respect somebody like Brendan Gallagher on the Canadians. Like I fully respect Brendan Gallagher. Andrew Shaw, same thing. He's a kind of an agitator type player, but that's his role and he plays it very well. And he's a hardworking guy. Players I hate. I don't know. I'll get back to you on players I hate. I'm really not sure. There aren't many players that anymore that like really make me mad and get my blood boiling. Yeah, okay. Fire Strike with the dose of realism there. He knows that the Rangers are done. All right, see you later, Goldhorns. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, see, like I hated Matt Cook. I hated Sean Avery. I hated Alex Burrows. But those guys are all gone now, and all of those. No, I will never give Matt Cook the time of day to do a remember him on him. He ruined Mark Savard. He is absolute trash. But there just really aren't that many players like that left in the NHL. Alexander Burrows might be one of the biggest pieces of trash to ever play in the NHL. He was such a dirty, slimy, garbage. Oh, see, Claude Lemieux. Speaking of dirty, slimy garbage, Claude Lemieux is another one of my least favorite, most hated players of all time. But again, guys like that aren't in the league anymore. Ulf Samuelsson, another one. Absolutely hate him. But as far as people in the league now, I'd probably have to pick. I wouldn't even be able to do it based on like who's a dirty slime ball piece of trash. I'd have to do it based on who's like so soft that I just hate them because they're soft and just complete wine pots. And that's when Crosby gets on the list. But
Spring is coming. Time to make plans to get outside in a new Toyota. Take advantage of incredible deals on many of our most popular models.
who do I hate?
RAV4, stylish Highlander, sporty Camry, and more. Get $1,000 financing cash on the all-new RAV4 with Toyota safety cents and 2 years no-cost maintenance. Plus, recent college grads get a $1,000 rebate over and above most other offers. Ready?
Yeah, Crosby is a wine pot.
Toyota, let's go places. Wherever you go. However you go.
See, I like Justin Ablocator. Well, my issue was with Justin Ablocator was I always wanted him to fight more. I thought he should have been more. He was such a, he's a physical player, and on the Red Wings, who for years never had any sort of physicality, he was kind of their only sort of toughness. I always thought that he should have fought more, and he never did. But I don't hate Justin Ablocator. Ryan Kessler, that's a pretty good one. Corey Perry also. I hate Corey Perry. Well, no, because I don't hate him as a person. I just think he's like the most overrated player in the league. I might go off the grid a little bit here as far as most hated player. And I was going to say Nikita Zaitsev in Toronto, just because the mix of him being an absolute pylon on the back end. Being a pylon on the back end and wanting nothing to do with any sort of physicality, that really makes me hate Zaitsev. So maybe he'd be my most hated player now. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay. Yeah, that's what I mean. Corey Perry is not good at all anymore, which is why he's overrated. He's getting paid like almost $9 million a year, and he hasn't had a 20-goal season in like 3 years. And he's getting paid like $9 million a year. He is the definition of overrated.
Ernie chops the puck through the neutral zone. Clifton spins it. Coolman, the lateral tap to Krejci. Krejci whips the puck off glass. McDonough off the Brusk's legs. McDonough reverses.
Yeah, he signed that deal quite a while ago, but he is egregiously overpaid at this point, as is Getzlaf, as is Ryan Kessler, and a lot of those guys on Anaheim who are old and not good anymore are grossly overpaid. No, I'm watching the game. There's just not a whole lot going on right now. Tampa still holds a 2-1 lead. Boston's trying to do something, but I mean they look overmatched here to me. Good hit there by Wagner on the end boards. Can't get any good offense out of it though. And now here comes Tampa Bay, and they clear it. Here comes Boston back in, but Coyle can't even get a shot off. Good stick there by Sergachev, though. Hey, Charlie Coyle ties it up. Great move there by Charlie Coyle. He puts it backhand into the back of the net, and we've got a tie game almost at the halfway mark of the second period. Wow, yeah, Backus really was the one that made that play. Great poke check to keep it in the zone. Goes right onto Coyle's stick. And here we go. We got a tie game again. Now, I definitely expect Tampa to have some bounce back, and they are already in the Bruins' end pushing. I've liked Coyle. He's not a big point producer. He doesn't put up a lot of points, but I think he's a good skater. He's very slick with the puck. I've really liked what I've seen from Coyle, and I think he makes a really good third line center. And that's exactly what the Bruins needed, was a third line center. No, I haven't muted Jack. I just have him turned really far down. Charlie Coyle scored the goal. Here's a break for Tampa, and Matthew Joseph saved by Rask. Boston can't clear the puck, though. And that's going to be a hooking penalty on Chara. Well, Donato had a really hot start in Minnesota. I don't think he's done as well since. He's basically doing the same thing he did in Boston. When he got here, he was phenomenal, and then it kind of wore off. And at that point, then he got really bad. Then Donato got really, really bad, and I absolutely hate him and think he's garbage. Let's see. I want stats. Can I just search a player? Guess not. Minnesota Wild.
Who's chasing the puck. Steven Stamkos with that deadly one-timer. Kucherov, equally dangerous, but in a different way. Stamkos the drive, and Rask squeezes the knees.
So Tampa's on the power play here. Rask just made a big save on Steven Stamkos. I want to see Ryan Donato's stats here. He has 10 goals. Well, that's combined. So since going over to Minnesota, Donato has 4 goals and 11 assists for 15 points in 16 games. So, yeah, when he first came to Boston, he had 9 points in his first 12 games, and he was really, really good. Then he went to absolute shit, and I would expect the same in Minnesota. And it's going to be a real problem if Minnesota doesn't make the playoffs, because then, well, you're waiting on next year, and he may just have 9 points in 30 games again next year. Another great save by Rask through a screen in front. Rask is really been phenomenal right now for the Bruins, making some big-time saves here. Yeah, Chara just re-signed for another year in Boston. He's not done yet, and he's certainly not the number one defenseman that he used to be. Obviously, you would never expect that at his age, but he's still a solid contributor and a very important player for the team, and he's the captain. So, yeah. Rask has no stick now. Yeah, it's hard not to mute Pierre Maguire. He is horrendous. Yeah, Tampa is just pouring on the pressure here on the power play. Rask is bailing the team out, but he's not going to be able to do this forever. That was the defenseman that made the save, and now Boston clears it. They're able to get one line change. One person out of the line on the line change. Now they're able to change Wagner. So both forwards have changed for the Bruins, but the defense pair is still stuck out there because the second period, it's period of the long change. But now that's a steal for Boston, and they kill the penalty. Hey, Hot Take Hockey, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you stopping in and checking out the chat. All right, that's good, Fire Strike. Yeah. Kampfer riding the pony down the ice as he was on top of Anthony Cirelli. Now Boston's trying to get the puck out of the zone, but they can't here. Tampa is just pouring on the pressure. Heinen, got to get the puck out, Heinen. Finally. They're still not deep enough to get a line change, though. That's funny, Panther. I wish I could find. I'm going to try and find that picture after this game. There's a big hit by Chernak. Now the puck goes out of play. Yeah, I am a Bruins fan. I'm not from Boston, but I am from Massachusetts. So lifelong Bruins fan, huge hockey fan, and can't wait for the playoffs. Cannot wait for the playoffs. Who is more rougher, Boston or Tampa Bay? Well, Boston leads the league in fighting majors this year, so I think that is your answer right there. Boston leads the league in fighting majors. So we're on to a commercial break here. Tampa Bay is absolutely surging right now, but Tuukka Rask is playing phenomenal in goal, and we still have a 2-2 game. So there's still a lot up for grabs in this one. We're more than halfway through the second at this point. All right, Fire Strike. No, glad you stopped in. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you in the next one. I know there's going to be a lot going on. Panther, you are killing me in this chat. I'm trying to say bye to people, and then I just read your comment and just start dying laughing. But I don't want to look up Pierre Maguire penis. Absolutely not. Oh, absolutely. Hot Take Hockey. Absolutely. I will also certainly be streaming plenty during the playoffs, and I am extremely excited for another Toronto versus Boston matchup. I think that's become one of the absolute best rivalries in the NHL. Two great teams going at it, and Boston and Toronto is going to be hopefully and probably the best first-round series this year in the playoffs. So it should be a whole lot of fun. Panther, you are killing me with these things. So, again, playoffs coming up soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do live streams and recorded content on topics from across the NHL. So as long as you are a fan of hockey and a fan of the NHL, hit that subscribe button. There's plenty of content here for you. And also hit the like button if you're enjoying this stream. It really helps out the channel a lot. Tampa just rang the post there. Boston, Tampa is pouring it on here. I don't know how this is still a tie game. Boston gives up an easy, quick 2-on-1 there, and that was Cirelli, or was it Point or Cirelli? One of them just I couldn't see if that was 21 or 71, but one of them just rang that off the post. Rask definitely got lucky there, but hey, that's hockey. It's a game of inches. Who is the best Finnish defenseman of all time? Ooh, I don't know. That's a question that certainly requires, some research. So I definitely do not have an answer for that off the top of my head of who the best Finnish defenseman is. Here comes Boston now 3-on-2, trying to get a good chance here. And Brandon Carlo rips it home. After all of that, Tampa Bay surging for the last 5 minutes. and Boston takes the 3-2 lead. Brandon Carlo jumps up into the rush and rips home his second goal of the season from the high slot. Wow, what a turn of events right there. Looks like a simple 3-on-2, and Carlo's the trailing guy, and he just rips it from the slot. That definitely had to have gone off one of the Tampa defenders. I'm pretty sure that hit somebody and ended up deflecting in. Wow. So Brandon Carlo takes the lead for Boston, and all of a sudden we have the Bruins with a 3-2 lead with 6 minutes left in the second period. Wow. I am shocked given the way that Tampa had been dominating the play for the last 5 or so minutes. I thought for sure that they would be the team to take the lead, but now Backus coming in, gets a shot on goal, and Vasilevsky makes the save. And we're going to a commercial break. Okay, so let's see. That's still not working. Yeah, so let's check around the NHL here. Well, it's on commercial. We'll take a look at some scores from around the league. Obviously, we know that this is 3-2 Bruins. Toronto is still up 5-2 on the Panthers. The Devils have taken a 2-1 lead on Buffalo. The Penguins are still ahead of the Rangers 4-2. It's been 4-2 for a while now. The Blues have taken a 1-0 lead on Vegas, and the Predators still hold a 1-0 lead over the Wild. Jets and Stars are still scoreless. So, a lot of good action in the league tonight, and Buffalo just tied the game with New Jersey 2-2. So that game is now back being tied. Let's check some box scores here, see if we've had any fights tonight, because I'll have to do the Twitter thing. And we have Brian Boyle and Jordan Greenway from Nashville, Minnesota. Not surprising there that game would have a fight. Those Central Division teams, you want good, tough, big boy hockey in the NHL. Watch when the Central Division teams play each other. That is good shit. Nothing in Dallas and Winnipeg. Blues, probably not, unless Reeves and Maroon went at it. They have not. I'm sure it's a Maple Leafs game. We know that didn't have a fight. Nope, we have not. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brian Boyle as well. No matter who he plays for, whatever team he's on, I'm a big fan of Brian Boyle. Nothing in Pittsburgh versus New York either. Okay. So it looks like the only fight of the night so far has been Brian Boyle and Jordan Greenway. So I'm going to go to my NHL Fight Alert account and make sure I get that out there. As we're down to the final 5.5 minutes, and now it's Boston who's swarming, and the puck goes in. I don't know how that went in, but it's 4-2 Bruins. Wow. That is a purely lucky goal. It looks like it's Marchand's goal. The puck looked like it was bouncing around. Nobody really knew where it was. They've weathered the storm. The Bruins have weathered the storm from Tampa Bay, and now they're taking a lead, and I did not see this coming at all. Second goal of the game for Marchand. So now Marchand has 2, like Steven Stamkos has 2. And Marchand now has 34 goals on the season. All right, got that fight tweeted out now. So how does this exactly go in? It looks like it just hits off of something and ends up in the net. Marchand just rips a shot and it hits something. Vasilevsky can't find it, and it just drops down behind him in the net. Wow. That is a fluky goal if I've ever seen one. So now after we have a stretch there, oh, Coyle almost connected on that cross pass for another goal. So, oh, nice hit. Clifton again laid out Palat in the first period. Now he just laid out Matthew Joseph. Great open ice hitting from Connor Clifton. And Boston now just iced the puck, but Joseph coming and crosses the blue line, and Connor Clifton just puts him on his ass. What a great open ice hit. So there was a stretch there where Tampa Bay had the power play. They were dominating play, getting chance after chance after chance. Couldn't finish, could not get a goal in, and now Boston has come back, kind of taken back over play, and now has a 4-2 lead. As John Tavares is lighting it up for Toronto tonight against the Florida Panthers. It's now 6-2 Maple Leafs, and Tavares has 4 goals. Not a good night for Florida. Not a good night for the state of Florida, as the Panthers are getting blown out by Toronto, and Boston is beating Tampa Bay now 4-2. 2 goals in less than a minute to give Boston a 2-goal lead. Did not see this coming. Now Tampa with a strong push coming, trying to get at least one of those goals back. They've had the puck now in the Bruins' end for at least this full shift. Good hit there from Clifton trying to get the puck out, but can't get it all the way out. Tampa's got their big guns out there. Kucherov, Point are both out there. Hedman's out there. But Wagner blocks the shot, and the Bruins clear. Get at least a two men changed on the line change. Down to the final 3 minutes of the period here. Man, if Boston can take a 2-goal lead into the intermission, that would be absolutely that would be crucial and really good, setting them up for a good third period to take a 2-goal lead into it. But Tampa with a strong push here, and you know they're trying to get at least one of these goals back before the end of the period. Boston still cannot get that defense pair off the ice at all. Clifton is still out there. I think Carlo is his partner. He's also still out there. They've been out for a long time now, well over a minute. Oh, so Panthers quickly get one back, and it's now 6-3, but I think Toronto still clearly has that one in hand. That looks like a goal to me. That I'm going to go ahead and say that it's 4-3 now. Nope, it didn't. I was just about to change the score. It didn't. That looked like that went post to post. That went post to post and out. Man, how many fluky things are we going to see in this game? That Marchand goal was like just flips up in the air and ends up behind the goalie and in the net. Carlo's goal, I think, deflected in. And now Tampa should have had a goal there, and it goes post to post and out. You do not see this every day.
For the majority of the shift, the Stamp's top talent was on the ice. Well, the average shift for a defenseman is usually somewhere around 45.
So Boston finally gets the line change. They can get their defense pair off the ice, who were out there for well over a minute. And now with 20 seconds, not 2:03. They had the clock wrong there for a second. 2:03 left in the second period. It's still 4-2, and Boston got the line change, but we'll have a defensive zone face-off here.
They're examining the scoreboard clock to see how much.
Do I think that the Bruins will beat the Lightning in the second round? No, I do not. I think that listen, I'm a Bruins fan. I love the Bruins. I hope they do. But from a realistic standpoint, I don't expect them to beat the Lightning. I think the Lightning are clearly the better team. And I think Boston will probably lose in 6 or 7 games to Tampa Bay in the second round. I fully expect them to beat Toronto in the first round. They are a better all-around hockey team than Toronto. They're much better built for the playoffs than Toronto. I think they have better goaltending than Toronto, so I do expect them to win in the first round. I think they lose to Tampa Bay in 6 or 7 games in the second round. Am I American? Yes, I am from Massachusetts. Not Boston, but Massachusetts. I am American. Here comes Tampa still pushing. Boston's struggling to get out of their own end here. That was a good exit, though, from the D. Tampa takes it right back. Then Boston. Now we're going to get into this neutral zone dump back and forth game without any sort of
40 seconds to go in the period. Victor Hedman at the center line. Floats the backhand.
No, Boston is not a state. It's a city. The state is Massachusetts. So final 30 seconds of the period here. Boston still up 4-2, although it was that close to being 4-3. Tampa got a very unlucky double post shot that didn't end up going in. Pasternak shoots it way high. Now Tampa comes back the other way with one last chance on the rush here. Yeah. Boston gains control, and that's going to be it for the second period. So it is 4-2. Boston. End of the second. New England is a region of 7. Yeah, New England is a group of 7 or several states. It's Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. And I think Connecticut counts as New England, even though it's borderline. Connecticut kind of goes more with New York than New England, but I think it technically counts as part of New England. But
in the National Hockey League that the Bruins were facing, and they killed off both power play tries. Yeah, they did. The first power play, Tampa Bay really didn't look interesting. Like they got outworked by the penalty killer. The penalty killer did a good job of controlling the puck.
No, I would not take Frederik Andersen over Rask. Not at all. Frederik Andersen to me is one of those goalies that is a notch below what you want to be a deep playoff team. Not a big game goalie, and somebody that you can definitely rattle and get to. Although Rask has been very rattleable as well. But I'd still take Rask. At least Tuukka has been to the Stanley Cup final before. Tuukka led the team to the Cup final in 2013, and they lost to Chicago when Chicago was an absolute juggernaut at the time. There's no shame in that. Freddie Anderson does not have the playoff success. Toronto is a first round out year in and year out, and they don't have the defense. They have zero toughness, which is going to kill them in the playoffs. I think Boston should absolutely handle the Maple Leafs in the first round. Who will win the cup? I mean, I think there are a number of teams that are strong cup contenders. I don't have to pick my cup winner yet because the bracket challenge is not out yet. But Winnipeg for me is a strong Stanley Cup pick. I'm a big fan of this Jets team. They're big. They're physical. They are. They're nasty. They're extremely well built for the playoffs. They have a ton of offensive ability. They have a very strong, big defense. Connor Hellebuck is a tremendous goaltender. Definitely top 10 goaltender, maybe even top 5. He's phenomenal. Winnipeg is built for the playoffs. They are built for big boy playoff hockey. Every check gets finished. There's scrums after whistles. It's going to get real nasty when you play the same team over and over again. Winnipeg is perfectly built for that. So I think right now going into the playoffs, I think Winnipeg is probably my Stanley Cup pick. I think Washington in the East runs out of gas, having won it last year. I think at some point they just get tired. I think Tampa Bay has a strong chance this year, obviously, with how good they are. You always have to worry about Nashville. They're a veteran team who could get hot at the right time, even though they haven't played. Nashville hasn't been overly spectacular this year, but they're definitely a team that could get hot at the right time, and they're a veteran team with a ton of experience. And San Jose is another team that you got to watch. San Jose is a veteran-led team with a lot of talent. I think they've added a little bit of size. I mean, they've had Brendan Dillon, but now they've signed Evander Kane long term. They've brought back Michael Haley, which I think is a good thing for them because they don't have a lot physically up front. I think bringing back Michael Haley was a huge move for them. Barclay Goodrow can throw his weight around. Evander Kane, I mean, we know about him. So I think San Jose is a little bit better built for the playoffs than they have been in years past, where I think they've lacked physically. And there's a ton of talent there as well. So they're a team to watch. Nashville's a team to watch. Winnipeg is obviously, I think, my pick right now. Tampa Bay, Washington, potentially Boston. If Boston does happen to somehow get past Tampa Bay, then, I mean, that automatically launches them into the conversation, although I don't personally see them getting past Tampa Bay in a 7-game series. I think the Lightning are just too good. So far this season, the East has certainly been better than the West. I mean, the bottom of the East, the wild card type teams from the East are better than the wild card type teams from the West. The best teams in the East are better than the best teams in the West. However, I think the Western Conference teams are built better for the playoffs. Eastern Conference hockey is much more speed and skill and scoring and offense, whereas Western Conference hockey, you have the big bodies, a lot of hitting, actual nastiness between the teams. I think that the Western Conference teams, when it comes to playoff hockey and where the intensity, the physicality, everything gets ramped up 1,000 times, I think the Western Conference teams might be better built for the playoffs, which is why I think a lot of my top cup contenders are those top Western Conference teams. So I think when you get in a playoff series with them, they're going to beat you and they're going to beat you up. And we've seen it year in and year out. Physical teams win, and physical teams make it deep into the playoffs. I mean, just look at last year. You had Washington with Tom Wilson, Brooks Orpik, and overall, Oshie, Devontae Smith-Pelly, Ovechkin playing a heavy game. You had Tampa Bay with their fourth line of last year. It was Paquette, Callahan, and Kunitz. This year they have Adam Ernie into the mix. They've added Eric Chernak into the mix, a very physical defenseman. Braden Coburn's still there. Tampa and Washington are physical teams. Out west, you had Winnipeg and Vegas. Vegas has Ryan Reeves, Derek Englund, William Carrier, Brady McNabb. Alex Tuck is a big guy. And Winnipeg, is just loaded with big bodies and a very physical team. So you have to play that way in the playoffs. You have to play that way in the playoffs. It's the only way to get there. We see that where teams like Pittsburgh, who in the regular season aren't overly physical, we see them get physical in the playoffs because they know that they have to play that way. There are some teams that I don't know if they can play that way. In Toronto, I think is the number one. Can they play that way? Can they pull a Pittsburgh? And even though they're a softer team in the regular season, can they play with that added physicality and that added toughness come playoff time? And for the last 2 seasons that they've made the playoffs, they have not. They got beaten out by Washington 2 years ago, and then last year they got bullied out by the Bruins. And this year, all season long, the Bruins won 3 out of 4 games against them, and in 2 of those games, the 2 games in Boston, they beat the living crap out of the Maple Leafs, and that's what I think they're going to do in the playoffs to them as well. Hey, Sal's in the chat behind the arc basketball. Big shout out to my buddy Sal. I did a lot of streams for basketball with him this past weekend for March Madness. He has a great play-by-play channel for college basketball. So if you're into college basketball and March Madness, check out Behind the Arc Basketball here. He's in the chat. And he's also where I got my idea for the thumbnail from, because he does his thumbnails in a very similar way. TTCs has a question. Ask away, man. Ask away. Oh, God. Notifications through the roof here.
No worries. With Tax Pro Go, a Tax Pro will do them for you. Just upload your docs and then do whatever you want.
All right, Hot Take Hockey. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed the stream. Obviously, anytime you're always welcome here, and glad to have you in the chat. And that'll hope to see you soon. And cannot wait for the playoffs. Toronto-Boston should be a great first-round series. What would my reaction be if Toronto beat Boston? Well, I would first give my congratulations to Toronto because they would have finally gotten over the first-round hump, which they have yet to do with this group of players. And then I would probably rail on the Bruins for losing to a team that they should beat. I would be very upset with the Bruins and think that they absolutely underachieved if they get knocked out in the first round this year. But I would definitely, if Toronto can get by them, then great for them. Great for them. And, I'd give them all the congratulations they deserve because that would finally get them over that first round hump. I just personally don't think it's going to happen given from what I've seen from them this year, what I've seen from Boston, what I've seen when they've played each other. I don't think that the Maple Leafs are going to beat Boston, but it definitely could happen. It's the NHL playoffs. Anything can happen. We could see a wild card team go to the Stanley Cup final. That it's possible. Yeah, Patrick Laine hasn't gotten any better. That's interesting because I said he was, garbage at the beginning of the season. Then he goes on this ridiculous streak where I think he had like 18 goals in the month of November, and then he's been garbage all the way since. So, yeah, Winnipeg is winning without Patrick Laine right now. Fortnite addiction. Something is wrong. Something has got to be wrong. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to speculate because I don't know what it is. I'm not going to go down there, go out here starting rumors or trashing on a guy for something that may not even be true. But something is up with Patrick Laine. I don't know what it is, but something is, because he's I mean, obviously got major issues right now with his offensive production just not being there. 1,500 squad wins. Holy crap. I mean, I don't play Fortnite, so I don't know how many games it would take to play. Obviously at least 1,500. But that is a ridiculous number of games and an amount of video games. Why would anyone need to play that much? And wouldn't you get bored of it after a while? I don't think I could play 1,500 games of the same game in a month. I would definitely get bored of that. Vancouver banned Fortnite. Now that's funny. That is funny. But I don't blame them. I mean, Fortnite is kind of taking over here. Allergies are kicking in for the spring. My nose has been an issue the last week or so. Things have warmed up here. We're getting into the 50s degree-wise. We've pollen starting to really get out there. The flowers are starting to come up. And with that comes the allergies as well. Luckily, the medicine I'm on for them have done a pretty good job of knocking them down. But still, from time to time, got to give the nose an old blow. Wow. Classic Panther. Yeah, I never was. I've played Fortnite at my friend's house. I've never had my own account or anything. I don't have it myself. It was fun for a few times, but I've never been into Fortnite. And some of the things I've heard, some people are addicted to it, and that's a real problem. Yeah, I don't know anything about either of those games, Fortnite or Apex Legends. I don't know. Wow, okay, 70 on Saturday and 75 on Sunday. That's incredible. I'm definitely going to be finding some outdoor activities for this weekend. Some street hockey or some basketball or something. I don't know, but if it's going to be that nice out, I am not just sitting in the house all day. Yeah, CHG's got allergies as well. Yeah, I feel you, man, for sure. All right, that doesn't even seem possible. 16 hours and 40 minutes a day. How is that even that's not even possible. I don't think anyone could possibly play video games that much. There's no way. That number has got to be. It must not be 1,500 rounds then. Oh yeah, Olli Jokinen. There's a classic name right there. So Joe the Weatherman posted about the weather 70 and 75. Wow, that's incredible. Let me check my WPRI weather app here and see what they say for the daily futurecast. They have lower numbers. They have 65 on Saturday and 61 on Sunday here. Guess we'll just have to. Yeah, they're in the 60s, so I guess we'll just have to see how it turns out. Still, 60s this time of year is more than okay with me. That is, I mean, as long as the snow is melted and melting, currently there's still a few. I don't know if there's any left now. I didn't really pay attention to outside today. If anything, just a couple of spots where it was piled up, maybe. But as long as the snow's out, and once it gets warm enough to go outside comfortably without wearing a jacket, maybe just a sweatshirt, then I'm happy with that. So 60s are more than okay with me. Yeah, going to be 65 here as well, Panther in Mass, at least in southeastern Mass where I am. 65 on Saturday as well. So it seems like a good chunk of the East Coast is going to be right around the same temperature Saturday.
Which also is winning tonight. They're just about in lockstep. Pittsburgh has the fewest games remaining of that trio.
Oh, there we go, Sal. Of course. So the mall closest to us is closing down. I think the last official day is March 31st, but it's basically empty already. Everything's done. So Sal, I guess, got some classic shirts at Olympia Sports. That is fantastic. Have to check those out the next time I'm over. Oh, that's incredible. Benny the Jet Rodriguez and Bill Belichick, Billy. That's incredible. So, yeah, sucks that the mall's going out, but at least you can make something of it. So we're back here. Teams are lined up for the opening faceoff of the third period. 20 more minutes of hockey to go. Have I heard of Sullivan Square MBTA? I heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Boston in right away, but the shot gets blocked. And we are underway here in the third. Chestnut Hill, yeah, we're about 50 minutes south of Chestnut Hill. Chestnut Hill's up near Boston. We're south of that. But yeah, definitely same state and not too far away, about 50 minutes to an hour away. So Tampa with the dump in here. Down 2 goals to start. And you don't want to know about Forsbacka Karlsson. He is not good. I am not a fan of Jacob Forsbacka Karlsson. He currently plays for the Providence Bruins. He did play up in Boston for a few games earlier this season when the Bruins had injury problems. I'm not a fan. He went to Boston University. He's one of the Bruins prospects. I believe he was a second-round pick, maybe third, but I don't know. He's either a second or third-round pick for the Boston. And I'm not a fan. He's soft. I don't think he's overly good. Yeah, just he's on my shit list of Providence Bruins players. Along with Zach Senyshyn. Coyle with another chance there. Just could never really get a good shot away. It's not Root. Jack Edwards just called Jan Ruda Rutu. It's not Jarkko. Jarkko Rutu has been out of the league for a long time. Tuomo Rutu has been out of the league for a long time. It's Jan Ruda. God, he is an idiot. What happened to the Colorado Avalanche? They're back in the playoff spot now. I mean, listen, Colorado's success early in the season had them looking like a really good team. The problem was they were a one-line team, and they still kind of are a one-line team. So those teams generally don't go far, and they fell off for a while there, but they've pulled back into the last wild card spot. We'll see if they can hold it. But, I mean, I think they overachieved a decent amount at the beginning of the season. Some good hitting going on in this Bruins game. One of the Lightning players took a run at one of the Boston players exiting the zone, and then somebody just planted Eric Chernak back behind the net. So this game's starting to get rack up the hits here, starting to get physical. Both fourth lines were on the ice as well. Milan Lucic does suck. Yes, he's not good at hockey anymore. Who is the fattest team in the NHL? I'm not sure, but Edmonton's probably got to be up there. Speaking of Milan Lucic, I don't know which team is the most out of shape, but Edmonton's probably up there. Bergeron clears up to Marchand. Marchand coming in now one-on-one, but tries this toe drag move that does not work. So the first 4 minutes here of the period are gone. Boston's actually controlled the play better than Tampa Bay, although Krejci just got absolutely leveled. And now here comes Tampa Bay. Big save by Rask there.
Camper pulls up short. DeBrusque played the puck above shoulder height, but Killorn gets the next touch. Tampa Bay wants possession in the attacking zone. Carson Coleman gets sandwiched between Ruta and Coburn. Coleman puts the hip on Coburn.
Now Jack Edwards is going to pronounce Ruta's name right. Ooh, the best fourth line in hockey. Like this season, I gotta think here, fourth lines. Boston's has been very good. It's not the best though. Wow. Laine's all-time Fortnite matches are over 26,000. That is absurd. Best fourth line. I mean, honestly, for the best fourth line in hockey, you have to look right here at Tampa Bay. Cedric Paquette centering Adam Ernie and Brian Callahan or whoever they have on that other wing. Tampa's got to be up there. And I think a lot of years there's a lot of times there's like very set best fourth lines that season. Like the year that a few years back when the Islanders went to the second round of the playoff, or the year that Cal Clutterbuck, Matt Martin, and Casey Cizikas, yeah, they went to the second round. They lost to Tampa Bay. What was that, 2014 or something like that? They were like clearly the best fourth line in the league. And I think there's been some other clear best fourth lines, but I think this year there's no, I think, singular fourth line that really sticks out as, oh my God, they're the best in the league like they have in some other seasons. But I think Tampa Bay's probably got my vote. They're up there. Boston's also up there. 2-on-1 now for Boston. But I would say Tampa Bay probably gets my vote. Carlo shoots it over the net. They had a 4-on-2. Now Tampa Bay's coming back the other way. Breakaway. Stamkos can't score, but Hedman tucks it in. It was Victor Hedman up on the rush. 4-3 Tampa Bay. Or 4-3 Boston. Tampa scores. Bruins get a 4-on-2 one way, but then they get all caught up ice. And Tampa comes back the other way. No, only one guy back defending. And yeah, that's never good when everybody gets caught up the ice like that. It was a breakaway for Stamkos. Rask forces him to shoot wide and miss the net. Maybe it makes the save there. Rask forced it wide. And then Hedman tucks it in on the rebound off the end board. So we now have a 1-goal hockey game. Victor Hedman's 12th goal of the year. The most unbehaved fan, that's got to be Philly. Philly has got to have the most misbehaving fan base in the league. That's got to be Philly. Although there are some wild ones. Yeah, I would say Philly. Hey, Levi, thanks for stopping in and checking out the chat. Really appreciate it. What's going on? Bomb there from the point for the Bruins, but no goal. Clifton shot goes wide. Boston retains possession, though, and then immediately turns it over. So Tampa now just trying to dump it into the zone. Boston dumps it in. Nice hit there by and Pasternak just high-sticked McDonough, so this is going to send Tampa Bay to the power play. McDonough's trying to draw blood here. Come on. So now Tampa Bay is going to get a 4-minute power play here. This is a guaranteed goal, if not 2, for the Lightning here. Who am I rooting for? I am rooting for Boston because they are my team. Do I think Yanni Gord should have been suspended? I didn't see the hit, so I can't make a ruling on that. I didn't see the hit. I know it was an illegal check to the head call, and he got 2 games for it, but I didn't see the hit, so I'm not sure. I live in Massachusetts. Boston's my hometown team. I'm not from Boston, but I'm from Massachusetts. So they're my home team. Oh, nice. So Levi here's from Maine, so one of the New England states. So that's really cool. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
There's someone you think you should talk to. Hey, Dan, your coworkers told me you haven't done your taxes. I just want to say, you can call a TurboTax non-CPA for help. You'd really do that for me? Yeah, Dan, it's literally my job. Thanks, guys. TurboTax Live, now CPAs on demand.
No, I have never been to Long Island, unfortunately. I'd love to see a game at Nassau Coliseum, but Nassau Coliseum is probably not going to be used much longer. But when that new arena at Belmont Park is built for the Islanders, that would definitely be somewhere that in the future I would love to go catch a hockey game. The most behaved, I don't know who the most well-behaved fan base is. I have no idea. And that was definitely worth 4 minutes because McDonough's nose is bleeding pretty good here. So that absolutely was deserving of a 4-minute penalty on Pasternak. McDonough's nose is gushing blood. So huge 4-minute power play here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're down by a goal at home to Boston. They're the closest team to them in the Eastern Conference.
Gone in the double minor. Chara with the huge poke check on JT Miller. Marchand continuing the battle.
Boston's doing a good job on the kill so far. Tampa hasn't even really been able to get the puck in the zone with any sort of possession, and Boston just clears it down again. So the first minute of this power play is killed off here, but there's still 3 to go, so it's still a long way to go. Tampa needs to get one here, I would think. And they come in the zone offside. That's a terrible mistake for the Lightning. They got to get at least 1 on this double minor. TTC, you watch the nerds play hockey? Oh, you're going to buy merch now? That's sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. Levi, who do I think is going to win the cup? I think we were talking about this earlier. I think I settled on Winnipeg being my Stanley Cup pick right now. I will do a Stanley Cup playoff prediction video but before the playoffs start in a couple of weeks. But I think for right now, and I reserve the right to change this, but right now I think Winnipeg is probably my Stanley Cup pick. So Tampa Bay now has the puck in the offensive zone with secure possession. They're down to the final 2 minutes of the penalty, though. So 2 have been killed off, 2 still remaining on the double-minded of Pastrnak. Boston with a clear, though, as Matthew Joseph turns the puck over. And, Tampa Bay has not been able to really get much as far as chances are concerned on this power play so far. Still got over a minute left, about a minute and a half left, but I would have thought that Tampa's power play would have been a little more desperate, a little more hungry for the puck, and looking to score on this. It just hasn't been the case so far. Boston's been able to get some pretty easy clears. And now Tampa Bay just iced the puck on the power play. That is an absolute no-no. That is generally a sign of a team that's not focused, that's not got their head in the game, and not playing with nearly enough urgency if you're icing the puck on the power play. If I were John Cooper, honestly, I would think about taking a timeout right now. You cannot ice the puck on the power play. He does not, though. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the thumbnails. Actually, I got the idea for that was from my friend Sal behind the Arc Basketball. He does his thumbnails in a very similar way, and I think that the way that these new ones are much better than just my face. Here Boston just had a shorthanded chance. Now here comes Tampa 3-on-2, and they can't even get a shot on goal. But they do keep the puck in the zone, though, with possession. Final 30 seconds of the power play here for Tampa Bay. They have possession of the puck, but now they lose it, and Boston clears it. Final 15 seconds, Boston's able to get a partial line change of the penalty killers. And Tampa's power play is fleeting here. Tampa versus Winnipeg is definitely a good Stanley Cup final prediction. It's definitely, certainly possible. 2 very good teams there. Boston kills off the penalty. Tampa Bay had 0 shots on that 4-minute power play. That is absolutely inexcusable. Can I do another NHL gaming video? Yes, I will definitely do an NHL gaming video in the future. We are down under 9 minutes now. 8:45 remaining in the third period. Boston with a 4-3 lead. And Tampa Bay just had a 4-minute power play that they did not even get a shot on goal during. Shot wide there. Tampa does have possession here, though, and are putting on a strong push in the offensive zone. Boston clears. All right, 8 minutes. Final 8 minutes of the game here. Boston with a 4-3 lead over Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. This has been a very close game throughout and a pretty fun one to watch. Not as physical as I would have thought, but still, there's been some big hits and very, very tight game all the way through. Tampa now doesn't connect on the pass. Boston just dumps it right back in, and I think the Bruins will be more than happy to play a dump and chase game the rest of the way. I think they're more than happy just dumping the puck in the zone and going on the forecheck.
Killorn wants it down. Chara takes the space away to cross all the way in on Vasilevsky.
Oh, yeah. Clifton's had 2 fantastic open ice hits in this game. In the first period, he laid out Andre Palat. In the second period, it was Matthew Joseph, I believe, he caught with his head down and just absolutely sent him on his backside. Great open ice hits from Connor Clifton. And now we have a tie game. Nikita Kucherov ties it up. Wow. Nikita Kucherov with an absolute rocket of a shot. And he ties the game. Yeah, Louis Domingue broke his stick because, that was the game that Boston won 4-1 in Boston over Tampa. And we now have a tie game. Huge save on Pastrnak by Andrei Vasilevsky. And then how often do we see this in hockey? Huge save at one end, and they come right down the other way and score. Happens all the time in hockey, and there was a perfect example of it there. Kucherov just rips it over Rask, blocker side. Again, nothing Rask could do there. Great shot from one of the best players in the entire NHL in Kucherov, the league leader in points this year. Unreal. So this game just got real juicy real fast. I mean, it's been a good game all the way throughout, but now we are back to a tie game. After Boston had a 4-2 lead. Yeah, I'd like to see the Bruins get an answering goal here. If not, I think Tampa might take this one in the final minutes here. Bruins really need an answering goal here. Here comes Tampa, though. Good possession into the offensive zone. But Wagner gets it out, and here comes the Bruins, but they quickly get the puck taken away in the neutral zone. McAvoy takes the hit. Turns the puck over, though. Nice block from Wagner. Boston's just got to clear it here. Just clear it down the ice. That's going to be icing, but they got to just get the puck out. Oh, yeah, this has been a really good game, and this is really tight now. 36 goals on the year for Kucherov. He's already over 100 points. Sorry, just answering a text here about this game from one of my friends from college. Kucherov just ripped that wide. No, Boston does not. They do not win easy games very often. Very rarely have the Bruins been in those 5-1, 4-1 easy win games. They play a lot of close games. It's just the way this team is. Luckily, they win a lot of close games, which is a really important attribute for them. The Catholic Hockey League? That'd be interesting. I wonder if one of those does even exist somewhere down the line somewhere. Kucherov again with a ripper of a shot, but it goes wide. Tampa's all on the offense here, though. Boston has got to establish some sort of possession and offensive push here, because this has been all Tampa Bay the last couple of minutes. And if they can let this continue, Tampa Bay is going to take the lead. Another clear there by the Bruins, but once again, it's icing. So with 4:09 left in the third period, the Bruins ice the puck again. and they cannot get this line off the ice. Hey, Derek, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
I keep thinking about the final seconds of the Winnipeg game when Blake Wheeler deliberately angled the puck off the center ice boards to waste the clock and be sure it wouldn't go for icing.
Yeah, well, they were down 4-2, and now it's 4-4. Tampa Bay has looked really strong this period, mostly since, especially since they didn't do well on their power play. They had a 4-minute power play they basically did nothing on, but since then, they have looked really, really good. I should do a live stream. I am doing a live stream right now. Message retracted. I wonder why. Penalty coming up on Boston. That's going to be the dagger. Oh, down to about 3 minutes, 3:15 left. Tampa, whistle hasn't blown yet. Tampa's still in possession of the puck. Goes out of play, hits the net, I think, and goes out of play. So Tampa's going to the power play here with just under 3 minutes remaining. This is not good for the Bruins. This is not good for the Bruins. Tampa is probably going to score on this power play. And that will be a 5-4 game. Oh, a franchise rebuild. Okay, that would be interesting, Panther. That's something I would probably do more in the off season, because that's definitely something that would take a while. I think while we still have hockey going on, I'm probably going to focus on the hockey that was going on. But definitely when things die down in the off season, I could do a whole dynasty mode where I build my own team or something. That could be really cool. Definitely. Yeah, no, Tampa is extremely good with the puck, TTC. The dead game? No, what do you mean by the dead game? I'm trying to think. I haven't done a gaming video in a while. I'll have to think back.
After Wednesday's game airs on NBC Sports Network this Saturday at 12:30, join Dan with Barry for Bruins Face Off Live, presented by Infrastore Technologies.
Yeah, exactly, Derek. That's why I count Tampa Bay as a tough team, because yes, they're very talented, they're very offensive, but they certainly have the ability. They certainly have the ability to play physical when needed, and come playoff time, it's going to be needed, and they've definitely shown that they can do that. Oh yeah, TTC, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Minnesota versus San Jose. That game was horrendously boring, and I ended up cutting the stream short. Yeah, this game is not one of those games. This has been a good game. So Tampa Bay's on the power play now. Tie game, 4-4, under 3 left. Huge glove save by Tuukka Rask on Kucherov. That is unbelievable. What a save from Tuukka. Right through a screen, too. I don't know how he saw that puck. Unbelievable. That's it. Mark that one down if the Bruins get points out of this game. Nordstrom's got to clear the puck here, and he does. Back to the neutral zone for Tampa Bay. They're going to try and quickly get back in, but they turn the puck over. Here comes Marchand now. Boston can't really retain any sort of possession here, but they do have the puck dumped deep in the Tampa Bay zone. They're killing clock, which is good. Still, Tampa Bay has such a quick strike offense. I mean, all they need is 10 seconds left on the power play. Never mind another minute. Tell you, this is going to be one heck of an ending to this game, though, no matter who wins. Good stick there, but he can't get it out. You got to get that puck out. This power play is so loaded for Tampa Bay. Stamkos, Hedman, Kucherov, Point. Not huge save by Rask there. JT Miller, the net front guy. Wow. Final 15 seconds of the power play. And we got a clear. That's going to do it for the power play with the final 5 seconds. One more rush, though, first for Tampa. So Tampa did get 2 shots on that power play, and now they score. Anthony Cirelli, and it's 5-4 Tampa Bay. Boston just blew the game. Unbelievable. Boston just blew the game. Over. Jake DeBrusk, that is you got to get a stick in there. Where was the center? Who was playing center? Krejci's over in front of the net covering nobody. That was just, that the D-zone coverage was not there. They left Cirelli wide open in the slot. And now we're down 52 seconds left. I mean, this would be a miracle comeback if Boston's able to score here. Oh, my God. How do you... Bad D-zone coverage. It absolutely killed them. Yeah, no, Anthony Cirelli is very underrated. He is a very, very good player. Very, very good young player. Wow, that's just a devastating goal against. I'll tell you, though, what a freaking game. What a game. Tampa Bay is out shooting Boston 28-17. Boston's only had 17 shots on goal, yet they have 4 goals. And now Marchand just took a stupid penalty. Tampa's going back on the power play. What an idiotic penalty for Marchand to take. He just chops the stick out of Eric Chernak's hands. What a moron. What an absolute moron. Now he just cost the Bruins any chance of coming back because now they're on the penalty kill. That is one of the dumbest penalties I have ever seen him take. And he's taken plenty of dumb penalties. That is one of the dumbest. I cannot believe he's that stupid to just do that. You can't just chop the stick out of somebody's hands. So empty net for Boston, but that's not even giving them an extra attack or an extra advantage because they're on the penalty kill technically. Yeah, couldn't get the pass through. McAvoy tried to hit Pastrnak back door. Couldn't get the pass through. And that's it. 3 seconds, 2, 1. Ball game over. Tampa Bay wins 5-4. They were down 4-2. They were down 4-2. And they came all the way back to win 5-4. Wow. That's a devastating blow to the Boston Bruins. But hey, Tampa's the best team in the league for a reason. They are unreal. Such a stupid penalty by Marchand. What a freaking idiot. What an idiot. One of the dumbest penalties I've ever seen. Just chops his stick out when you're down by a goal with a minute left. What an idiot. Completely away from the play, too. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. That was a heck of a hockey game. And let me tell you, if these two teams meet in the second round again this year, it's going to be one hell of a playoff series. But Tampa Bay with the 5-4 win continue to show why they are the best team in the league. Just unreal for them to come back from the 4-2 deficit in the third and win 5-4 in regulation. Really, really tough blow to Boston to not even get a point out of this. That is not good. But that's it. So I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. I really, really appreciate it, and certainly look to have more streams, obviously, in the near future. If you are new to the channel and have not been here before, make sure you hit that subscribe button. As long as you're a fan of hockey and a fan of the NHL, I do recorded content as well as live streams. So from topics across the entire NHL. So if you're a fan of hockey, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you haven't already, please give this stream a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That really helps out with the video getting found and helps the growth of the channel overall. So likes are really important. So thank you guys so much again, and can't wait to see you at the next one. I'm not sure when that will be, but I'm sure I'll be doing some recorded videos along the way as well through the next week or so. And then 2 weeks away from the playoffs. We are almost to playoff hockey. I cannot wait. Honestly, I'm done with the regular season. I am so done with the regular season. I just want playoff hockey here because it is the best thing in all of sports. It's the NHL playoffs. So with that, thank you guys again so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Going to end the stream now. Yes. Subscribe, and hit the bell so that you're notified. Great stream tonight, guys. Enjoyed the chat, and I really enjoy streaming with all of you. See you guys next time.